that we are in a church that stands for something that can help with that. There are some churches that, for some reason, can't seem to bring themselves to do that for whatever reason. But and how do we reach out to people, and how do we take part? And it's just a hard question. I'm mumbling, so sorry.
Yeah.
It's a hard question.
Kind of along that line a little bit, but for what it's worth, St. Augustine's Episcopal Church in Kansas City, which is the last all-Black Episcopal church in town, there used to be many more, is having a rally on their lawn this evening, and I believe our bishop will be there.
Your rector will be there as well.
Pardon me?
Your rector will be there as well. Your associate rector might be.
Yeah. And the Bishop of West Missouri will be there, and I think they've got another bishop from somewhere. They'll be on the lawn.
Mm-hmm.
Bring a chair. They will try and keep spacing.
Mm-hmm.
And at my age, I'm probably too close to the age. If I was 10 years younger,
yeah,
I would certainly be there.
And where is that, Tom?
It's at St. Augustine's Episcopal Church.
Okay.
Hang on a second. I'll give you the address. It's
Here,
27. I'm sorry, go
Gar
ahead.
shared the information on Facebook. It's on the St. Thomas page and on Gar's page.
Oh, okay.
The information is there.
2732 Benton.
At 5:30 p.m. tonight.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking about myself.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I've been debating about going, and it's
Yeah.
probably not a wise thing, but I sure would like to.
Well, I think someone like myself who has never really done any protesting, it's a very uncomfortable feeling thinking of making that step. Am I going to walk my talk, or am I just going to sit here and think about that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong? And then I'm in the dangerous age, and I'm not doing a lot of things because of the virus.
Mm-hmm.
But would I do it anyway is my question.
Mm-hmm.
I had an unusual feeling yesterday because I live at 140th and Knoll. I've always felt very protected, very sick. And then I got a call saying there's going to be some kind of, what do you call it, when people stand around? It's going to be some kind of group of people standing at 140th and Knoll. And I had the funniest feeling. I've never even had any fear of ever having any kind of protest close to my physical body. And so I did my ironing, and I thought and thought and thought. Now, this is an unusual feeling for you. You need to work through it. So whatever that's worth. Because I always agree at church that we should do this and we should do that, and we shouldn't do this and we shouldn't do that. And I'm very, I can't get political, but I'm very strong. I feel very strongly about political things, but I don't really do anything.
I think one of the important things going forward is not to get caught up just in the heat of the moment of what's happening, but looking at long-term change and growth. I talked with my youth group about this, that going out and protesting right now, it is a place to channel our anger, and that's important, but that if we really want long-term change to happen, there is reading that can be done. There are books that will help us to change our own personal perspective on things, so that we can act, so that we know how to advocate, so that we know how to be a voice for minorities without taking over the conversation, allowing people of color to lead the conversation, to hear their stories, but to be an advocate for them, and when to speak and when to shut up and not speak.
Yeah, that's probably something I would like to read.
So there are great resources out there, and also there's places where you can donate money and help spring people from jail who have been who've been arrested in the protests, or for help with medical expenses for journalists, or all of those kinds of things. So there are things that we can do. But I think just remembering, that we don't necessarily need to get caught up in the heat of the moment, but work for long-term change. Because man, it's hard. Like what you're saying, Sandy, about protesting for women's rights and protesting for guns and I mean, the indignation can be exhausting. And I think about this sometimes when I preach, like, how many sermons can I give where I'm just, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. And
I'm sitting there saying, yes, she's right, she's right, she's right.
But it is, I think, sort of stepping back and knowing that that trusting that the arc of history bends towards justice, and knowing that God's kingdom is going to unfold. We are simply invited to be along for the ride and be a part of it, and we all have work to do to help make that happen. But that I don't know, I just have to be reminded that it's not my job to save the world.
And I have to leave the group, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's time. We need to call it. But really, really good to see everyone. And so for next week, we will finish out the book of Acts and see where Paul gets to take the message to the larger world. So thank you all very much. Good to see you. Have a wonderful week. Stay safe.
Thank you for letting me sit in.
Take care.
Oh,